Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In previous class we discussed about second ruler of Ottoman Empire, Orhan. But unfortunately I forget to tell you an important point about Orhan. That was Orhan was the first Ottoman ruler to take the title of Sultan. Before Orhan, the Ottoman rulers used the word Amir to refer their leader or their ruler. Now we can discuss about Murad Khadi, son of Orhan and third emperor of Ottoman Empire. Here you can see the timeline of Murad first. He born on 1326 and he became the ruler of Ottoman Empire in 1362 and he died or he was killed in 1389. Now we can discuss more about Murad and his conquests. So, being a ruler was a luck for Murad because his father Orhan initially intended to make his son Suleiman as the next ruler of Ottoman Empire. But unfortunately, Suleiman Pasha died in 1357 just after his conquest of Gallipoli as a result of falling from horse. But when Murad became a ruler, he continued his father's ambition of conquering all Europe. So he began to conquer all places he could see in Europe. So first of all, he conquered Thrace in 1363, and 1 or 2 years before or after that year he conquered Adrianople and renamed Adrianople to Edene and made this Edene his new capital. So he changed the capital from Barca to Edene. And before 1369, he conquered many European kingdoms like Bulgaria, Macedonia, and Serbia, and made the rulers of these kingdoms his vassal. So the word vassal means the Ottoman ruler can control and order the rulers of this kingdom to rule according his needs and wants. And also by these conquests in Europe, Ottoman Empire became a superpower of Europe. Not only in Asia, they are now a power in Europe. And later, Byzantine Empire itself became a vassal of Ottoman Empire. And once Murad and the ruler of Byzantine Empire John V jointly campaigned in Anatolia, a place in Europe which is now known as Asia Minor. So when they were campaigned in Anatolia, their son, Murad's son Savji and John V's son Andronicus chose this moment to rebel against their fathers. They intended to kill their fathers and to be the next ruler of their kingdom. When Murad and John V heard about this news, they returned home to deal with this issue. So John returned to his home Constantinople and Murad returned to Rumeli, which is now known as Balkans, and Murad killed his son Savji and their company, and Andronicus surrendered to his father John V, and Andronicus was imprisoned and blinded. In 1386, Murad conquered the city of Nice from the Serbian prince Lazar. By conquering Nice, Ottomans got access to heart of Central Europe and also a way into Bosnia. So Ottomans continued their conquest into the Bosnia, and in 1388 Ottoman defeated in a battle at Bilicia at the hand of Bosnian princes. So Murad thought that Lazar of Serbia was involved in the Ottomans' defeat at Bilicia, or Lazar was a cause for Ottomans' defeat at Bilicia. So he thought to punish Lazar. That's why he intended to invade Serbia in 1389. And Murad's army and Lazar's army met at a place known as Kosovo Polje, and in that battle Murad's army or Ottomans were victorious, and Lazar was captured and killed. But unfortunately, something bad happened in this battle. During the fighting, Murad had become isolated from his army, so he was alone in the battlefield for some time. Using this time, someone or some commander from Lazar's army, his name is Milos Obilic, approached Murad and stabbed the Sultan dead. So that was end of the Murad's era, and he was the only one Ottoman ruler or Sultan who was killed in the battlefield, and Murad's body brought back to Bursa and buried there with his fathers and grandfathers. The first contribution of Murad was he reorganized Janissaries into a standing paid army in the service of Sultan. In previous class we discussed that Orhan was the starter of Janissaries, but there are some confusion among historians who was the real starter of Janissaries. Some historians say it was Murad, and some others say it was Orhan, and we still don't know who was the exact starter of Janissaries. And the next contribution was Murad developed an Ottoman government and military organization. So it was started in the time of Orhan, but he developed and evolved this system much more than before. And also Murad started a new position known as Grand Wazir, and Sandrali Hara Khalil was the first Grand Wazir of Ottoman Empire, and he was Grand Wazir of Murad, and this Hara Khalil reorganized the tax system of Ottoman Empire, and he established an office for state revenue. And Murad also collected taxes not only from his people but from rulers including Serbia and Byzantine. These were his vassals, so he collected taxes from that empire also. And lastly, Murad, with support of his Grand Wazir Hara Khalil, introduced a new policy called as Panjak tax, which means 1 out of 5 tax, and it means if a fighter or a soldier fought and collected 5 slaves in that battle, he has to give 1 out of that 5 to state treasury or empire's treasury. So these are the most important contributions of Murad, and inshallah in coming class we will discuss more about Murad's son Bayezid and some other rulers who came in Ottoman Empire. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.